What up, people? This is about to be a long video. Y'all better stay tuned. Y'all better like, share, and comment because y'all keep asking for it, and here's one for y'all. But it's about to be pretty important, so y'all definitely need to anyways. But I'm about to go into more detail about a possible planet that formed out of nowhere that NASA isn't labeling, so y'all can understand the importance of why I even mentioned it on the last video I made. If you've been watching my content, basically I've been explaining to y'all when Venus and Jupiter conjunction happened, that was them mating to create another planet. It's the exact same thing that happened that created Mercury, which is their closest image of man, and that would be the entity y'all call Jesus. These planets are actually spirits, stars, just like we are. But like I said, they are mixed with dragons. This is why the stars look different compared to ours, of course. But like I say, Mercury is the closest image to our star. That's why it's smaller. It's a higher frequency planet compared to all the other ones. So basically this happens again. It's almost like creating another Mercury. But the only difference is they've been experimenting on our DNA so much longer than what they have been before, which means the planet could produce a frequency higher or lower than Jesus. And that would disrupt the frequencies of all the other planets because literally there is no more room. As y'all can see, it's a star that appears to look just like Mercury's star. It has a pole, and it's larger than all the other stars in the background. The stars in the background is the image of man. Like I said, their stars are different. But usually, like all the reptile planets are labeled, besides this one that appeared out of nowhere that looks like a reptile planet, basically meaning something from the underworld. So I'm about to give you a visual of the issue of that planet being born, and why in Revelations they say they're trying to find that woman and child, because they've been manifested in physical form just like we are. So check it. Outside the fixed stars, Uranus and Neptune, which is the United Nations. Neptune is the first creation of the underworld. The known names y'all might know him by: Apostle Paul, Enki, Ea, Amon, Yahweh, Apsu, Adam, and he's David. Then we have Uranus, which you know as Tiamat and Eve. So the United Nations is Adam and Eve. Their frequencies is outside these fixed stars. This is why they separated. And from the inside, from Saturn on down to Earth, it's the covenants of Azazel, which is Mars. He's the second creation of the underworld, made known as Archangel Michael, Marduk, Ra, Azazel, Apollo, and I believe he's also Enoch. But he is a dragon, just like Neptune. Neptune is a water dragon. This is how the flood was possible. And Mars is a fire dragon, a golden one at that, with the power of the sun. So he's in the middle because he keeps everyone in check. He's also the god of war and chaos. So the thing is, Venus and Mercury wants ascension inside of heaven, while Jupiter and Saturn wanted ascension outside the fixed stars with the UN. So this planet can push it either up or down, either way, and no one knows what it will do to the universe. So this is why everybody have to come to find that child in Revelations. So this woman they're talking about is Venus, and the dragon they're talking about is Neptune, and that child is an unknown planet. And at 1260 days, it's 3.5 years, half of the tribulation, or pandemic, however you want to put it. Then the war broke out in heaven. Michael is Mars, the dragon is Neptune, and the serpent is Saturn. They call him a serpent because he's a mix of man. He's not a full dragon. And as y'all can see, continuing on, he was hurled down to earth and continued to look for this woman, but couldn't find her. So it waged war against the rest of her offspring. Like I say, Venus is also Mary Magdalene, Inanna, Isis, and Lilith. And we may know her as Queen Elizabeth. She created these eggs and these vessels that we're in now, meaning we are the quote-unquote offspring they're talking about, because this is also Jacob's ladder and the Tower of Babel. They were creating more and more planets, mixing with man in order to reach heaven. So they have to get rid of all of man's DNA so this don't happen again. But y'all gotta watch this movie right here. It literally tells you exactly what's gonna happen. He plays Archangel Michael. He comes down with a halo around his neck like a slave, takes it off, cuts off his wings. Then he goes searches for the child. Then of course on the other end, all the power goes out because the Skynet will be open. And then all the legions of demons gonna start taking over vessels, like it's already starting right now with all these spiritual attacks. But eventually another archangel comes through, Gabriel, and actually wins the fight. But Michael comes back because he believed in the real God, not the God of the underworld. And he wins the fight. And the baby lives because they give him the choice, because it could grow up just like us, either bad or good, and that's going to decide everything. But of course, they don't want that decision on anyone but themselves, because there's one true God and it's not them. Let's not forget what this word means. Baal was the first king of hell. He speaks with a gracious but well-formed voice and commands 66 legions. and teaches the art of invisibility. How many books are in the Bible? There are 66 books by Baal. Just think about that. And like I said, we're the guys, and the God tell us everything. How many movies you see based on truly possible events?
This comet contains $30 trillion worth of material.
What do trillions of dollars matter if we're all gonna die? We're rich! That would be terrible!
Get ready to embark on an exciting journey through space. This October, NASA has planned its Golden Asteroid mission, which is set to explore Psyche. This is a 140-mile-long asteroid located in the belt between Mars and Jupiter. Scientists say Psyche is made up of iron, nickel, and even gold. NASA claims if extracted, it would be worth $10 quadrillion. Joining us now to give us more insight on NASA's Golden Asteroid mission is former astronaut Jose Hernandez. Hey there, Jose.
Hello, Kelsey. $10 quadrillion. I mean, I did the math, and do you know that if we were to mine the whole surface, all those materials, and cash them in, every person on Earth would be a billionaire?
Well, that sounds really nice. Well, can you kind of give us your take on this mission, tracking down the Golden Asteroid? It really sounds like a mission from a movie. Is it even possible?
It is possible for us to get on the surface and actually do some measurements for on this surface. What we think really is that it's a planetesimal core, which is either the beginning or the remnants of the inner core of the planet being formed, and for some reason it must have collided with other asteroids and it stopped the process of forming a planet. But we believe that this is the actual beginnings, the inner core of what's inside our own planet, which is molten, but ours is under so much pressure, it's molten metal down there, and this one obviously cooled off and got exposed by so many collisions, and now it could be mined. And so I think that's what NASA's looking at, is to send instruments to be able to actually do the measurements. It also has, I think you mentioned all the materials, including platinum and gold that it has under too.
It's fascinating what the technology can do out there. I mean, to mine an asteroid. What do you think is the ultimate mission, the ultimate goal of this mission?
Well, I think the ultimate goal of this mission is, first of all, to determine if it is a core. Second, determine its age. And third, offer insights as to the inners of our own planet, what's inside our own planet, spinning around, creating that magnetic field. And finally, give us insight as to how this galaxy and universe was created, because I think we have sort of a snapshot of either a planet dying away or a planet being formed. And I think that's very crucial information to put into that whole puzzle of how the universe was created.
I'm ready for that $1 billion, Jose. Wow. Okay, also, moving on to some breaking news this week. So new research from the James Webb Telescope, it says that Saturn's moon has the necessary conditions to support life. What do you make of this? Could it one day have a human colony?
That's correct. Saturn has 146 moons, and one of them, Enceladus, it was determined that the telescope was able to determine that it had about 6 of the elements to sustain life there. In other words, to create DNA. But that 7th element, which is phosphorus, was actually detected when Cassini went and orbited Saturn and was able to take measurements and found that indeed it also has phosphorus, thus leading us to believe that it has all the building blocks to create DNA. So what we really need to do is we really need to go back to that surface there and see if we can see any life. It won't be intelligent life, but it could be microorganism type of life that we could find in the bottom of the icy oceans that exist on the surface of that moon.
Wow, just really incredible.